Welcome to the Bullvine Podcast, your go-to source for inside stories, cutting-edge research, and the latest updates in the world of dairy farming. For our 12th episode, we share Gary Bauer's passion and innovation and how it transformed Lencrest jerseys and impacted global dairy farming.
In the vast world of dairy farming, success often results from hard work, dedication, and innovation. Gary Bauers of Lencrest Jerseys stands out, not for seeking attention, but for his modesty and letting his work speak for itself. From his early days with Lorne Ella at Rock Ella Jerseys, to managing Firm Bovilact for George Despy, to the startup of Lencrest Jerseys with a mere 17.08 kilogram fat day of milk quota, to completing a recent succession transfer to his daughter Melissa Bauers and son-in-law Philip Aitken of Lencrest de la Vallée, currently operating with more than 170 kilograms per fat day of milk quota. Gary's story is a testament to the power of endurance and a genuine passion for the art, science, and business of dairy farming. Throughout 40 years, Gary has made specific and significant contributions to various levels of industry organizations, including a transformative role on the CEMEX Alliance board, thereby leaving an indelible mark on the industry.
From a very young age, Gary's passion for dairy cattle and the industry was kindled at his grandfather's Guernsey farm in the eastern townships of Quebec. He fondly remembers helping his dad and grandpa and could easily recall the names of many cows in the barn. His most cherished memory was going to get the cows with his Nana. However, a day that remains etched in his memory is when his grandpa's farm was sold to what is now the Milby Golf Course, as his father chose a different career path when Gary was just 6 years old. These early experiences, though challenging, profoundly impacted Gary and fueled his determination to return to the dairy industry, which would shape his career. Gary often reflects that his passion for farming began at a young age. That true knowledge comes from a willingness to learn from others. In his teens, he gained a wealth of knowledge about farming and hard work from the township's jersey breeders, including Ross Powell of Broad Vista Jerseys, Warren Ross's Ayshires, and Keith McDonald at Bonnyburn Jersey Farm.
Within a few years, Gary journeyed to Ontario, where he had significant experiences with Bruce Mode at Bonnie Bray Ayrshires. Gary regards Bruce as one of the most skilled cowmen he has ever known. Sean McMahon of Shamrock Farms, not only his father-in-law, but also a mentor, played a pivotal role in Gary's life. Gary was fortunate to have Sean in his life for 20 years before his unexpected passing in 2003. Sean and I could talk for hours about pedigrees, his bulls, and the industry's needs. We didn't always see eye to eye, but we always found common ground in our love for farming and the Jersey cow. At the Rock Ella Review sale, Gary made his first jersey purchase, Rich Valley M. Gem Velvet. This sale marked the end of a memorable period spent living and working with Lorne and his family. During this time, Gary honed his cattle fitting abilities, animal health care, understanding of pedigrees, and fieldwork. From Rock Ella to Firm Bovilact in Quebec, Gary then spent 10 years managing a Jersey herd for owner George Despy. In the early days at Bovilact, Gary worked alongside Lloyd Fanjoy, Heaven Hill. Lloyd was such a cowman, the person who really taught me how to feed and care for calves, Gary noted. Gary's leadership enabled Bovilact to become a leader in Jersey circles, including Grand Champion Cow and Premier Exhibitor at the Royal Winter Fair in 1985. I am also proud to have led 6 Grand Champions at the Royal Winter Fair for family and a friend. During those years, Gary collaborated with international marketing firms to sell and transport premium Jersey cattle to Brazil, Colombia, and Argentina's developing markets. Gary exhibited at numerous local dairy shows as he started to promote the Jersey breed in his home province of Quebec, hoping to grow the herd numbers within that province.
As an official judge for Jerseys and Holsteins, Gary's extensive experience is a testament to his comprehensive understanding of the subject and unwavering honesty in dairy cow appraisal. Over time, Gary has established a reputation for being a straightforward and fair judge of the animals presented in the ring. He has judged numerous local, provincial, and national shows, including the Royal Jersey Show in Toronto and many international dairy shows in South Africa, Japan, Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, Uruguay, Colombia, and many state shows in the United States. Gary was called upon to judge colored breeds and Holsteins and could provide reasons in English and French. Gary's involvement as an associate judge for Ayrshires at the World Dairy Expo in Madison, Wisconsin, with his close friend Dave Wallace, was a watershed moment in his judging career. Walking on the colored shavings of such a well-known show cemented Gary's name in the judging circles. In Australia, the Royal Easter Show's innovative requirement for judges to show ranks for the Supreme Champion classes on a board and offer thorough explanations for their selections deeply impacted Gary. He firmly believes in this transparent system as it ensures accountability while limiting political influence. Gary's perspective is based on the ideals of clarity and responsibility. He thinks that every judge must be willing to freely explain and defend their findings to preserve the process's integrity and create confidence among breeders and exhibitors. Gary has raised the bar in the world of dairy judging by constantly recognizing and rewarding animal excellence fairly and openly, reassuring the audience about the fairness of the industry.
Gary was also deeply involved in sales management for consignment sales like the Royal Jersey Sale and herd dispersals such as Norval Acres, Piedmont, and Shamrock. He worked closely with the late David Butch Crack, an infamous auctioneer, as well as a lifelong friend, the late Richard Caverly. Richard was a humble, hardworking, and knowledgeable cowman. We traveled to many North and South American dairy shows together, a true friend and mentor to youth in agriculture. I think we shared a bond his commitment to youth, his exceptional work ethic, and his love of great cows. It cannot go without saying that Gary's business mentorship came from the owner of Ferme Beauvais-Lacte, George Despetit. George was a successful businessman and visionary in Montreal, Quebec. George led the way for Gary in industry involvement and change through leadership as an influential Jersey Canada board member and president in his own right. George's business and financial insight guided Gary's early years in business management. During his time with Ferme Beauvais-Lacte, Gary began as a director in Jersey, Quebec, span of 24 years, and Jersey, Canada, 9 years, where he served as president from 2000 to 2001.
Further to his roles on the Jersey, Quebec, and Jersey, Canada boards of directors, Gary Bowers continued his involvement in the dairy cattle improvement industry with roles on many boards of directors and committees. These included the Quebec Dairy Breeds Council, CQRL 14 years, the CIAQ-AI Center, 15 years, the CEMEX Alliance, 14 years, the Canadian Dairy Network, 10 years, and the Dairy Farmers of Canada, 5 years. In early 2000, Gary played a key role in establishing the multi-breed classification program in 2005. This program offered by Holstein Canada is an essential tool in evaluating dairy cattle. During his early tenure on the CEMEX board, decisions were made to bring about a seismic change to the CEMEX management team with the engagement of Paul Larmer as the new CEO in 2007. This shift ushered in a period of advancement that indelibly impacted the worldwide AI business. Gary was a part of the board at the CEMEX Alliance, serving 2 terms as president, who worked diligently through introductions to genomics, sexed semen, IVF, and streamlined efficiencies in bull housing. CEMEX worked to become a leading solutions-based genetics company, a world leader with increased market share and a solid reputation for Canadian genetics. Gary's contribution to CEMEX's success is important, as he helped develop and support the goal of CEMEX being a worldwide leader. He embraced and promoted fact-based risk while highlighting opportunities for improvement. Gary never allowed himself or others to accept the status quo. Instead, he supported change where and when it was required. This earned him the tremendous trust and respect he deserves, says CEMEX's Paul Larmer. Bowers' position on the Canadian Dairy Network, CDN board, demonstrated his expertise in genetics and drive for improvement. Genomic evaluations for males and females were introduced during this time, and the Pro Index was created. Near the end of Gary's tenure, he laid the groundwork for the eventual merger of CDN, CanWest DHI, and Velacta, bringing DairyTrace into the fold under one umbrella known as Lactanet today. His participation on the Dairy Farmers of Canada board demonstrated his dedication to the dairy industry. Bowers was named to the Pro, the Action Committee, and worked on specifics for animal welfare, biosecurity, traceability, and environmental stewardship. This level of involvement was amongst breeders, processors, industry leaders, and politicians. The goal was always to move towards a sustainable Canadian dairy industry. In 2024, Gary was honored to receive the Dairy Industry Distinction Award from Lactanet.
Gary Bauer's breeding strategy combines conventional dairy excellence with cutting-edge genetic innovations. Over the years, he has expertly blended the traits of high-quality show cows with the economically advantageous features necessary for increased milk production. Early in his career, Gary concentrated on raising cows that could compete and stand out at shows. This emphasis on show-type cows resulted in several awards and a thorough grasp of what made a cow a top contender. Recognizing the changing needs of the dairy business, Gary modified his breeding approach in the early 2000s to focus on improved production and herd longevity. This change was necessary partly due to the shift in the live cattle market with BSE in 2003 and the demands for a financial balance sheet that had long-term stability. During this time, Gary also increased his active promotion of the Jersey breed within the province of Quebec through commercializing Jersey animals, whether Lencrest or others. Gary always wanted cows to do well and perform for others, and often mentored and advised those new to the Jersey breed. This approach was suitable for both the breed and the domestic market. This grassroots work remains vital to Gary as the front line of the dairy industry is the dairy farm and its people. Gary invested strategically in a Duncan Bell granddaughter, Piedmont Declos Bell EX9422, dam of Lencrest Blackstone and Lencrest On Time. Declos Bell produced 38 offspring for Lencrest. This brood cow was a long-standing #1 LPI cow in Canada and intermediate champion at the Royal Winter Fair and All-Canadian Junior 3 in 2003. Another key investment was the granddaughter of Jif Little Mini EX96 4E12 steer, a two-time Royal champion. This granddaughter, Select Scott Salty Coco Chanel EX94, was also an All-Canadian Junior 2-year-old. Descendants of Coco Chanel have the biggest influence in the herd today, with names such as Lencrest Coco Puff EX93 3E4 Stia, and some of her sons including Lencrest Artemis, Lencrest Caspian, Lencrest Broadband P, and Lencrest Contour. Lencrest Coco Puff was an 18-time #1 GLPI cow in Canada. Coco Puff's granddaughters hold the current #1 GPA LPI position in Canada for heifers under 9 months of age and the current #1, 2, and 6 position in Canada for heifers over 9 months of age. The investment in another maternal line of responses Farron, Hoptra Blair Famous, stands out in today's herd with Lencrest Premier Farron, Dam of the Bull, Lencrest Tobe Famous. Gary expressed the need for balanced breeding, production, and type, a total concept approach in which high genetic index, such as the LPI, Lifetime Performance Index, and ProDollar, a measure of genetic merit for profitability, are examined alongside robust type features. Today, of the top 50 Jersey heifers over 9 months for GPA LPI, 38% of them are either of Lencrest prefix, sired by a Lencrest bull, or have a Lencrest maternal grandsire.
With the development of a succession plan, Gary knew the original home farm of Lencrest would not meet the needs for growth to a herd size that would match trends for viability in the growing dairy economy. A nearby farm with a greater quota base and building infrastructure that could support a shift to robotic milking without investing in brand new facilities was acquired. Again, the key was to innovate and grow in the most efficient way possible for his family's business needs. Gary Bowers has always been a visionary in the dairy sector, looking for ways to enhance efficiency and output via technical innovations. Robotic milking systems are one of the most noteworthy technical advancements. Gary, Maureen, daughter Melissa, and son-in-law Philip saw the need for change in their operation. They welcomed this new technology to ensure the long-term viability of their dairy operation. This technology, along with regular quota purchases, has allowed for the development of the herd size without extensive labor needs, all while improving efficiency in herd management, milk quality, and financials. Philip's technological knowledge is critical for developing and maintaining the robotic systems and on-farm reporting. His experience with GPS systems and precision agricultural equipment has been essential. Melissa's expertise in genetics, on-farm technologies, and business brings innovation and continues to drive the Lencrest breeding program. These factors result in the ultimate and necessary goal of economic viability. This joint effort among family members demonstrates how adopting technology may result in substantial breakthroughs and operational success in contemporary dairy farming.
Gary Bowers offers some wise words for young individuals entering the dairy sector. He argues that knowing the industry is vital. Gary elaborates, "It is important to know domestic markets and understand the global milk industry. My travels abroad helped me to understand not only elements linked to breeding and genetics, but also to the global milk economy. You need to know where your milk's going and be aware of the entire ecosystem that supports dairy farming." Financial knowledge is another critical component of success. Gary pushes for a good company strategy that includes thorough financial plans. He feels that understanding economic systems is essential to guaranteeing long-term profitability and resilience, particularly given the volatility of agricultural markets. You have to be astute in business and know how to manage your finances, investments, and operational costs, Gary tells the Bullvine. Gary's advice, however, places a significant emphasis on enthusiasm. You need a genuine love for dairy farming to sustain the demanding workload and overcome inevitable challenges, he says. This enthusiasm feeds everyday operations and promotes continual learning and innovation, assuring the farm's growth and success. Gary's thoughts provide a roadmap for young individuals joining the dairy sector. He urges students to be well-rounded professionals, equally comfortable with financial spreadsheets, milking systems, and cow comfort care, while cultivating a great passion for their work. Without passion, the hours are too many and the work is too hard, he continues, emphasizing the significance of putting one's heart into the operation and the sector.
Gary Bowers' experience in the dairy business exemplifies the power of devotion, ingenuity, and an unwavering pursuit of improvement. Gary has continually exemplified what it means to lead by example, beginning on his grandfather's Guernsey farm and culminating in his crucial role in modernizing industry boards of directors. Gary's efforts for the Jersey cattle sector resonate across continents, demonstrating his worldwide significance. His foresight in using robotic milking and his approach to farming have taken Lencrest jerseys to new heights, demonstrating the value of combining tradition and innovation. The Bowers family's ongoing dedication to dairy excellence exemplifies the qualities Gary exhibited: hard labor, creativity, and a genuine enthusiasm for the sector. Through all these connected experiences within the dairy industry, Gary is mostly grateful for the people he has met and collaborated with, including industry professionals and the many hard-working dairy cattle breeders across the Canadian landscape and worldwide.
Thank you for tuning in to the Bullvine Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's insightful discussion. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Catch you next time on the Bullvine Podcast, where bovine expertise and community come together.